Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. I have a practice that I put into play with my business and my social media content that I want you guys to start using as well. This is something that I do to protect my headspace and protect my focus and actually make social media a safe place. And it is three simple words. Three. Mute, block, and delete. These are this is my mantra on social media. Mute, block, and delete. The thing is, I mute everybody on Instagram and on social media. I mute them all. My friends, my family, my competitors, like everybody. Even my closest friends, they're all muted. I maybe have like even some of my clients, honestly, if you guys are listening to this and you're a member of PTBI, I probably have you muted. The reason being is because when I open up my social media, when I see things posted by other people, I can get very triggered based on what I see. And if I get triggered, then that is going to affect my headspace. And if my headspace is not in a good spot, I'm not going to produce valuable work. Right. And anything can be triggering. It could be someone else's opinions or belief, which I have no problem with. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. That's no problem. But I am not obligated to receive those opinions. It's like if someone has like I don't know. I don't want to digress too much, but like another big thing is like competitors, right? I don't follow my competition. I mute them. Actually, so I do follow my competition because a lot of them are my friends. Like I have really good friends in the space that I consider my friends, but I don't actually like follow them, intentionally follow them. Like I'm following them on social media, but they're all muted. So I don't see any of their content because the thing is, if I go on Instagram and I'm working on this project and then I go and see my competitors doing this other thing, then all of a sudden I start questioning myself. And then I start doubting myself. And then I wonder, oh, am I even like doing the right things? And so it really just gets in my head and it deters me off track. Right. The other thing is like I just see it triggers me, right? It makes me upset. It gets in my head. Like it's not good. Right. And your social media should be a safe space for you. Right. You shouldn't go onto social media and feel negative coming out. Right. And so if you have people that you follow that trigger you, even if they're your friends, I encourage you to mute as many of them as possible to create as safe a space as possible for you to think open and freely and positively about you and your journey and what you're doing. For the most part, I'm over here on my own little island, doing my own thing, coming up with my own ideas. And if I need to hear something, if like there's important news that I need to know about, I will know about it because some way, form, or another, it will come my way and someone will tell me. Right. So I don't need to actually see it on social media for me to know if it's really important. I'll find out anyway. Right. But what that does is it protects my headspace online. So that way I don't get deterred and I can stay focused. And people always ask me, how are you so like action orientated on all the time? Is because I don't have outside stimulus deterring my headspace or deterring my mindset or knocking me off track. Everything is very dialed in because I've protected my headspace by mute, blocking, and deleting anything that is a distraction, even if it's a close friend. So if you're a fitness coach online and you compare yourself to other fitness coaches who are killing in the space, mute them and try it for a week and tell me how you feel. Guarantee out of sight, out of mind, you probably won't be keeping up with what they're doing because if you want to actually see what they're doing, you have to go to their page, click on their story, see what they're doing. And that's not good for you or like that's not good for you as a business owner. So, highly encourage you to mute, block, and delete. What ends up happening too, as well, I've noticed is that because there's not all this stimulus keeping you engaged and making you emotional, you actually end up getting bored, right? One thing that I've noticed is like instead of consuming content online, I actually just get bored, right? So I open up my phone, I start scrolling. It's a bunch of people I don't know or don't care about. 5 seconds goes by, I get bored and turn it off, and I'm back to work, right? But if I had a bunch of people that I followed and I was actively engaged in, I could be caught in that loop for 15 minutes, right? And just keep going down the rabbit hole. If I see something that triggers me, then I can go down the rabbit hole even further, and that keeps me engaged, but that's taking time away from my business. And so what this is allows me to do is cut my consumption time to like 1/3 of what it used to be because I just get so bored online that I just go off and I start working again. So mute, block, and delete is by far the best strategy when it comes to protecting your headspace online with social media, and then also just keeping imposter syndrome out of your head, also keeping yourself focused and also not comparing yourself to other people online. It's really, really, really important. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is the difference between consuming and creating. So, this is something that I see a lot of trainers. It's actually one thing that new trainers need to switch in their brain, right? When I'm on a sales call with a trainer who's getting set up, one question I might get asked is like, what makes or breaks a client, right? What's the difference between a client who's successful and a client who's unsuccessful? And I will say that the difference comes down to being a creator versus being a consumer. For most people, they're consumers when they enter the field, right? All their life, they've never really shown up on social media. They've never really like posted engaging content. Like they've just consumed the content. And so going from a consumer and going into a creator is actually a really tough transition. And that's really what, makes the difference. And I'll record another podcast on this too right after this to kind of go in more detail. But it goes along with what I was saying about mute, block, delete, because mute, block, delete actually helps you become a creator because it cuts your consumption time down, right? So while you're consuming less, with that time that you now have, you can actually create more, which is actually your obligation as a business owner online, is to create more content. So mute, block, delete, that's the lesson I have for you guys today. It protects your headspace. It like really takes out competition out of your mind, really helps with imposter syndrome. And it just makes social media a safe space for you to go on. So hope that helps, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.